Hello friends, today I'm going to be doing the main character tag again. I'm very excited to bring you this main character tag because a lot of you in the comments of my last one really wanted to see the other POV of Cruel Summer, and so I'm here to deliver. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, my current project is a book called Cruel Summer, real title pending. I've been working on this book since January and I've just sent out some queries last month, which is still very scary, and it has come a long way. If you want to see the main character tag for the other POV in this specific book, I will have a link down below and in the cards if you want to go watch that if you've missed it. Cruel Summer is an enemies to lovers, soulmate AU tennis romance. If you missed it, that's the vibes. The main character I'm going to be doing today is obviously the main character, one of the main characters. He is obviously an international tennis star, 25 years old during the events of Cruel Summer, ranked #1 in singles, and is anxious. Trademark. Have I also figured out his playing style? Yes. Yes, I have. I've done that for literally every single person who plays tennis in the cast, so, but again, we don't need to get into that. Question number 1. What is your main character's name? How did you, the author, choose that name? How does your main character feel about the name? So, his name is Luka Kasich. I am aware that I'm probably mispronouncing Kasich since I'm not actually Croatian, so if there's any Croatian viewers out there who stumble upon this video or watch me, please tell me how I'm actually supposed to pronounce that name. Because I don't know. I would appreciate it. So I chose this name because I have always loved the name Luka, or any variation of it. I actually have a Lucien in another book. Apparently it was a popular name in Croatia in the late 90s, early 2000s, which is when Luka was born, so I figured it made sense there. And his last name is derived from the word that means snake, which is a little bit of an inside joke. Did match his original personality better, but I've now altered his personality so it doesn't quite fit as much, so it's a little bit more irony this time around, but I still like the name. And apparently this last name was pretty common in Split, Croatia, which is about an hour and a half from the town that Luka grew up in, Zadir. Luka himself is pretty neutral in this name. He does have a nickname within the tennis world, Lucky Luka. He was given this nickname because he has more of an unorthodox style, and it was thought that he's very lucky to be able to win. So it was originally derogatory, but Luka has come to embrace it. Question number 2, what's your main character's zodiac sign? Luka is a Scorpio. He is actually a Halloween baby. I just picked that on purpose for some reason. I was like, you know what? He's gonna be a Halloween baby. So he was born on October 31st in Zadar, Croatia. He's actually a double whammy of being a Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. Here's his full chart if you are interested in that sort of thing. You can get a little vibe on him. I personally really like using zodiacs to kind of figure out my characters and add some layers and depths to them, so this is what I use. I do think Luka fits the Scorpio mold quite well. I did backtrack from what his personality is into what his zodiac would be, and it just so happened that he fits a Scorpio, and I was like, you know what? He's gonna be a Halloween baby. That's the truth. He's very determined, loyal, and canonically hard to read by other characters. He is a bit aloof, and he's very much like his Virgo rising, which means he's dedicated, organized, and very in tune with the needs of others because he is actually quite sensitive internally. And because of the Scorpio moon, he does fall in love very easily, but he's not very expressive with those emotions, so it's a big plot point in the book, actually. Question number 3, what is your main character's relationship to the people who raised them? Well, Luka's parents, first of all, were soulmates, where Jules's parents were not soulmates. However, his father was, shall we say, not a great person. Sorry, Luka. So Luka isn't close with either of his parents at this point in his life, and the only time he thinks about them within the actual narrative is kind of in an abstract and sideways kind of looking lens, like he's side-eyeing them. He believes that he has a lot of traits of his mother, such as his anxiety, and his mother was hopelessly devoted to his father, and his father unfortunately believed that any emotion was a weakness that had to be destroyed. So, you know, definition of toxic masculinity. You can imagine how well that went in the long run for Luka's childhood. However, it's not all doom and gloom, because when Luka was 11, he was at his local tennis club and he met a former Croatian tennis player named Vladimir Orlik, who took Luka under his wing and has been coaching him and teaching him ever since. And now Luka is 25, so that was 14 years ago. And Vladimir is very much the father that Luka has never had. And Vladimir does love Luka like his own child. So he was pretty much raised by Vladimir and has a very good relationship, both personally and professionally, with Vladimir. Question number 4 is, what is your main character's most important memory prior to the start of the book or series? The most important memory to Luka is a little bit of a spoiler, so I'm gonna kind of vaguely circle around it a little bit. And it's probably the first time he ever got his heart broken. He fell in love with someone in London, and it was supposed to be just, you know, a friends with benefits situation. And of course, Luka ended up catching feelings because he can't have a physical relationship without falling in love. And when they broke up, Luka was devastated, and it nearly ruined his entire tennis career. So it definitely shaped how he views his relationships, and it does inform how he has his relationship with Julius throughout the course of the novel. So it's a very important relationship that gives some context to who Luka is as a person in romantic relationships, which is the whole point of a romance novel, eh? Question number 5. Wow, my neighbors are having some fun, so apologies for the yelling. Question number 5, your character walks into a library. What section do they head to first? I think if Luca had attended a normal school and was like a normal person who like actually like went through college and stuff, opposed to being a professional athlete, I really think he would like psychological thrillers, so he'd probably go straight to that. I think he'd be interested in books that delved into the inner workings of the human mind. He's very much an overthinker, and I think he would like fast-paced, snappy thrillers. Just kind of feels like his vibe. Or maybe he'd like the opposite because he does have an undiagnosed anxiety disorder. Regardless, the only book we actually ever see him reading in canon is a baseball player's autobiography, which was given to him by Vladimir. So it really says more about Vladimir's taste than it does Luca's, but he canonically can read. It's more than I can say for Jules. Question number 6 is, would your character survive the Oregon Trail and how? Well, I don't think Luca would want to survive. Very rowdy tonight. Well, I don't think Luca would want to survive the Oregon Trail. I think he'd end up surviving anyway. As an overthinker and a generally very cautious man, I would like to think he'd survive the journey. Would he actually ever take that journey to go into the great west of America? Definitely not. He'd be staying in the east over there. But if he was forced to go, he would probably survive. Question number 7 is, what would your characters ask for if they made a deal with a Crossroads Demon? When I think about this question, I really only have one thing that pops into my brain, and it's actually something that Luca kind of mentions in the book. His father died when he was 18. So if he made the deal, he would be asking to go back and talk to his father one last time and kind of try to resolve the complex feelings he has about his father, because they're very numerous and sometimes overwhelming to him. So I think he would like that opportunity. That's just who Luca is. Question number 8 is, what will your character think about on their deathbed? And of course, similarly to Julius's answer, it will not shock anyone to find out that it's virtually the same. This is a romance, therefore it has a happy ending. So I imagine on Luca's deathbed, he'd think about the love of his life, his soulmate, and the life that they built together, just like I imagine Jules would. That is Luca Kasich. He is the second main character of Cruel Summer alongside Julius Ricci. This book means everything to me. It is my heart. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about it. We'll have a couple more Cruel Summer videos coming in the future, as well as some more content, hopefully. If you want to see more content like this, you can give me a thumbs up down below. It tells me you're really enjoying this kind of thing. And if you want to see more of my rambling face, hit subscribe to see all of that content. Bye!